The Dodo Raffles cuculatus is an extinct flightless bird that was endemic to the island of Mauritius east of Madagascar in the Indian Ocean. The dodo's closest genetic relative was the also extinct Rodriguez solitaire, the two forming the subfamily Rafnae of the family of pigeons and doves. The closest living relative of the dodo is the Nicobar pigeon. A white dodo was once thought to have existed on the nearby island of Reunion, but this is now thought to have been confusion based on the Reunion ibis and painting of white dodos. The first recorded mention of the dodo was by Dutch sailors in 1598. In the following years, the bird was hunted by sailors and invasive species. While its habitat was being destroyed, the last widely accepted sighting of a dodo was in 1662. Its extinction was not immediate, not said, and some considered it to be a mythical creature. In the 15th century, research was conducted on a small number of remains of four specimens that had been brought to Europe in the early 17th century. Among these is a dread head, the only soft tissue of the dodo that remains today. Since then, a large amount of subfossil material has been collected on Mauritius, mostly from the Mara Auxis Songas swamp. The extinction of the dodo within less than a century of its discovery called attention to the previously unrecognized problem of human involvement in the disappearance of entire species. The dodo achieved widespread recognition from its role in the story of Alice's adventure in Wonderland, and it has since become a fixture in popular culture, often as a symbol of extinction and obsolescence. As no complete dodo specimens exist in its external appearance, such as plumage and coloration, is hard to determine. Illustration and written accounts of encounters with the dodo between its discovery and its extinction since 1598 and 1662 are the primary evidence for its external appearance. According to most representation, the dodo had grayish or brownish plumage with lighter primary feathers and a tuft of color-right feathers high on its rear end. The head was gray and necked, the beak green, black and yellow, and the legs were stout and yellowish, which black claws. A study of the few remaining feathers on the Oxford specimen head showed that they were pernicious rather than plumaceous down and most similar to those of the other pigeons. Like many animals that involved in isolation from significant predators, the dodo was entirely fearless of humans. This fearlessness and its inability to fly made the dodo easy prey for sailors. 91. Although some scattered reports describe mass killings of dodos for ships provisions, archaeological investigations have found scant evidence of human predation. Bones of at least two dodos were found in caves at Baie du Cap. The shattered fugitive slaves and convicts in the 17th century, which would not have been easily accessible to dodos because of the high broken terrain. The human population on Mauritius, an area of 180 km per square or 720 per square million, never exceeded 50 people in the 17th century, but they introduced the other animals including dogs, pigs, cats, rats, and crab-eating macaques, which plundered the dodo nests and competed for the limited food resources at the same time. Humans destroyed the forest habitats of the dodos. The impact of the introduced animals of the dodo population, especially the pigs and the macaques, is today considered more severe than that of hunting rats, where perhaps not much of a threat to the nests, since dodo would have been used to dealing with the local land crabs. These animals only are coming up to this stared at us and remained quiet where they stand, not knowing whether they had wings to fly away or legs to run off, and suffering us to approach them as close as we pleased. Amongst these birds were those which in India they call dodo arson, being a kind of very big ghost. These birds are unable to fly, and instead of wings they may have a few small pins, yet they can run very swiftly. We drove them together into one place in such a manner that we we could catch them with our hands. And when we held one of them by its leg, and that upon this it made a great noise, the others all on a sudden come running as fast as they could be its assistance, and by which they were caught and made prisoners also.